And we are live.
Now that gas prices are so high, Domino's is giving you 20% off all
Wait until the commercial's over with, and then
So hurry and take advantage of these low prices.
our intro will hit here shortly.
Low prices. You get the deal. 20% off menu prices on everything for now at Domino's.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the PMP Pigskin Mafia Podcast. I'm your host, TJ Riddell, and we are going to talk about NFL football. Not only just NFL, but NFL news. Talk about QBs coming in for starters, QBs coming in for backups, the backups playing. What the hell is going on with the NFL? I mean, it's incredible right now. First of all, how are y'all? How are y'all doing right now? If you don't know this song, this is SGF Kirk. Song Different. That is our intro for this great show. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the PMP. It's a special occasion for NFL because we're going to be talking about Week 3 and Week 4 recap. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do Week 3 because I was ill with a weird sickness. It felt like a cold, but it wasn't COVID at all. Thank God. So, but we are going to talk about Week 3 and Week 4 together. We're going to just run by them real quick. Just talk about the scores. We're not going to go in depth in all the games. Just the top 5 games, in my opinion, that I thought were good games, and kind of go over my record as of my last predictions. I didn't do Week 4 predictions because I was out busy at work. And, yeah, I mean, right now, we're going to talk about AB, a man that has been a menace to the NFL and to the public as of late. He posted a picture of Giselle, which is Tom Brady's wife. Smoking hot, by the way. She is. But they're going through a little thing, Tom Brady and Giselle, and AB trying to stir the pot, you know. Wanted to post an Instagram picture of Giselle. I don't know what goes in his head. I don't care. My thoughts on AB is he is a doofus. So, which brings me to my next point, or I guess you could say topic of AB. He was shown exposed in a public setting, not only in a public setting, in a public pool in Dubai. Okay, you know where Dubai is, right? That's in the United Arab Emirates. So that's on the other side of the freaking world, okay? I've been there. Dubai is fun. But why would you sit in a pool with people there, you know, and you sit butt-ass naked? Your ding-dongs hanging out, you know? I don't know. I don't even know how to describe that situation. I mean, all I could say is he's a doofus. And I wish him well as far as his rap career, but very disappointing seeing the way AB went out in his football career. Throwing his shoulder pads, throwing his helmet, throwing his T-shirt, doing jumping jacks behind the Jets end zone, and costing me a fantasy championship, which I absolutely will hold him against that, and I will always point the finger at that guy. All right. So, push AB out of the topic. It's enough of him. 5 minutes of talking about AB ain't going to do no justice. So, now let's get into the positives, or kind of negative and positive. Backup QBs. This is the season for backup QBs and backup running backs. I mean, with what's going on with Tua after he got hit, the way he got tackled against Cincinnati and had to get carted off, and then you just see it all around football nowadays. And I just saw Naheem Hines. By the way, the Colts and the Broncos are playing right now. I'm not going to talk about the score. I did, however, pick the Colts to win, but we'll see what happens. But you just see all these players getting hurt. Dak with his thumb, and Mac Jones with his ankle, and then Brian Hoyer had a concussion in the game against the Green Bay Packers. So Bailey Zappi, a hometown kid from Victoria, Texas, went to high school in Victoria East, which is right down the road where I'm from, or where I live, okay? And he played very good for a third-string quarterback. I mean, Bailey Zappi is doing a hell of a job. I say give him another shot next week, or this week. And then, I mean, Cooper Rush is killing it. Might as well have him as a starter and let Dak heal, or just keep him as a starter. Me and some other Cowboy fans, or most Cowboy fans, really love what Cooper Rush is doing right now. And it just seems like Kellen Moore is more relaxed with Cooper Rush because it's more simplistic to run with Cooper Rush in that offense rather than Dak, where he has certain plays that he could do, but Cooper Rush can't. But it just seems like when Dak's in there, there's a whole lot of stress going on, and sometimes his decision-making isn't the best. So, I mean, it just seems like the offense is more productive in as the last 3 weeks have been, and the Cowboys are now on a 3-game win streak, which we'll talk about that here in a little while. But Teddy Bridgewater is going to start for the Dolphins against the Jets this week. Can't wait to see Teddy B play out there. Geno Smith's actually killing it this year. He's been doubted, for a while now, and the man has been a journeyman for years, and finally he gets his opportunity, and he's actually doing a good job over in Seattle. He's actually making Seattle look good over there. It's not just him, but it just seems like Seattle looks like they are alive. But Mitchell Trubisky gets benched, and then Kenny Pickett comes in. Kenny Pickett doesn't throw any touchdown passes, but he runs for 2 touchdowns. But he throws 3 interceptions. 2 of them were long balls, and I didn't see the other one. I was more focused on some other games. But, the first rookie quarterback, you wouldn't have guessed who the first rookie quarterback was to score a passing touchdown in the NFL this year. Who'd you think? Desmond Ridder? Kenny Pickett? Absolutely not. Malik Willis? He's not starting. It was Bailey Zappi, third stringer for the New England Patriots. And I saw this kid play last Sunday night, and my goodness, he looked good out there. But yeah, I mean, he was going toe to toe with Aaron Rodgers. It was crazy. Bailey Zappi, y'all, from Victoria, Texas. Then he committed to Houston Baptist, then transferred out of Houston Baptist to go play for Western Kentucky. Set a single season record in passing yards and passing touchdowns. That kid is underrated. And I told a buddy of mine that is a Patriots fan, you just got yourself another good quarterback of Bailey Zappi. Well, he's just going to be a third stringer. Well, yeah, he's a third stringer now, but wait until he gets his opportunity. He will play good. And boy, did he manage that clock well. Take for granted, Bill Belichick made it simple for him. Gave the ball to Damian Harris. And, I mean, it was a good game for him. And it was a good learning game for him, especially in Lambeau. I mean, Lambeau's a tough place to play, and he played very good after Brian Hoyer went down. He didn't throw an interception. He did what he was supposed to do, and that's what all you can ask for a young man. But hopefully Mac Jones comes back for the Patriots, and they look like they were going to beat Green Bay the other day. And Tom Brady was talking about how just football in general doesn't look that good right now. And I'm sorry. I'm going to have to agree with him. The NFL is just wild right now. I mean, teams that we thought were going to be good look like shit. Teams that we thought weren't going to do shit are leading the divisions. Okay? I mean, who would have thought Miami would have been 3-1 at the end of this this past month? Not me. I was not a firm believer in this hype, and the hype is real. If Tua didn't get hurt, with the way they were playing right now, it would be hard to say that they wouldn't be 4-0. If it wasn't for Tua getting knocked out or pretty much stumbling around against Buffalo, it'd be hard to say, well, Miami's gonna be 3-1. I would have disagreed. The way Tua has been playing this year, he's on fire, and a lot of credit has to do with that wide receiving core with Cedric Wilson, Tyreek Hill. And I'm just astounded with the way the Dolphins have been playing this year. And speaking astounded with somebody, the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, they look impressive this year. Having a shootout with Detroit in week 1, and then week 2, they hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, they beat the snot out of Minnesota, and we're gonna talk more about it in week 3 and week 4. But we're gonna condense week 3 and week 4 together because I don't really have a whole lot of time to talk, guys. So let's just be honest. We're gonna try to make this at least an hour, okay? So. Enough with the jibber jabber. Let's talk about week 3. All right. So my overall record has been poor. Last 2 weeks have been shit for me. This week, I could make it to the wild card. I was 9-7. Okay. One of the games I want to talk about is the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. That was a win for me. I thought the Jags have impressed me this year. Uh, I thought they were going to compete, and it was going to be close, but I did not expect the Jaguars to win by 28 points against LA. And Herbert was hurt in that game too, I believe, or playing hurt in that game. And man, talk about a big win for Jacksonville in week 3. Then we go over to let's go over to the Bears and Texans. I mean, the Texans are the most impressive winless team that I've ever seen. Playing close, but just short. Kind of reminds me of Detroit last season. And Chicago's playing pretty good football as of late. I mean, it's not the best offensive team, and it's not the best defensive team, but they are playing some good football. Then we go over to the Chiefs and Colts, which I picked the Chiefs to win, but the Colts won. This one got me scared for the Chiefs. That's what I was saying, or that's why I was like, man, Chiefs are not as good as they once were. And we'll go more in depth on that in week 4. The Bills travel over to the Dolphins, and I got to say, I picked the Bills, and the Dolphins upset the Bills at home. And I was very disappointed in the way the Buffalo Bills played against the Dolphins. And the Dolphins have looked impressive this year. This game made me realize the Dolphins are for real. They are for real. Then we go to the Cowboys and Giants game, where I was kind of reluctant because Giants were actually playing good football for the first time in a long time, since the Odell Beckham days. But the Cowboys managed to win this game, and Cooper Rush did a good job. My biggest take was CeeDee Lamb did not perform well in the first half, but exploded in the second half. And hats off to CeeDee Lamb for being able to push through that adversity. But pretty much looking at these games, I'm satisfied with this week with the way I picked them. There's some games where I'm like, what the hell? How did they lose? Or, man, I knew I should have picked them, so now we will move on to week 4, which I do not have it written down on here, but I will put it on because I need to talk about week 4, people. And I'm only going to talk about a couple of games. And we'll go over week 5 shortly, but let's just talk about week 4 first. Big game for both teams. Miami versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati debuts of white helmets, which, oh my God, that white on white, that icy white, I love it. I love it. If you don't like icy white helmets on white uniforms, then something's wrong with you. Okay? So the Bengals take the win 27-15. Tua left the game, carted off after a devastating injury. I mean, I could have told you before the game even started that he should have been on concussion protocol. He should have not have played that game. It should have been Teddy Bridgewater to start the game. And I don't know what the hell went on, but I'm glad it's being taken care of, and it's being taken care of seriously. It's crazy how long it's taking, But I'm glad they're actually taking the time to actually look into this stuff. But yeah, so Tua gets carted off. But it was a good game. I mean, for the most part, fourth quarter, the Bengals kind of scurried on out and won the game 27-15. But Joe Burrow with 20 out of 31 attempts, 287 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon, 24 carries, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. And T. Higgins went off. I mean, T. Higgins looked good in this game. 7 receptions, 124 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. I'm telling you guys, once people start to lock up on Jamar Chase, it leaves an opening for Tyler Boyd. It leaves an opening for T. Higgins. And sure enough, it opened up pretty well for T. Higgins. Tyreek Hill had 10 receptions, 160 yards. Raheem Mostert, 15 carries, 69 yards. Teddy B, he came in after Tua Tagovailoa went out with a head injury. You could already tell he was not in the best shape. Tua wasn't. As soon as his head slammed the ground, his fingers started to crinkle a little bit. And that's scary as it is. Just imagine being out in the crowd, or worse, being on the field and seeing that. And imagine being the backup for that guy. Like, oh, shit. I'm about to go in after this guy just crinkled his hands like this. Like the My Germs guy from Scary Movie 2. But Teddy B, he did all right for filling in for Tua Tagovailoa. 14 completions out of 23 attempts, 193 passing yards, almost broke 200. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So it was a good game up until the fourth quarter. Then Cincinnati started to gain momentum and ended up winning that game. Next game I'm going to talk about. I'm only going to discuss 5 games out of week 4 because I'm behind schedule and I need to go ahead and talk about week 5 predictions, which I'll talk about all the games. So so this game was played in London. What a fucking game. Minnesota taking on New Orleans. And it was back and forth in the fourth quarter. And Greg Joseph hit a beautiful 47-yard field goal. And then the Saints Greg Lutz went for a 61-yard field goal. Okay, for one, you're not Justin Tucker. Hook him, by the way. And for 2, I mean, that was just too far for him. But not real. I'll be honest. I don't know what to say about that because it was a double doink. It was a double doink. And it's impressive to see a game like that. And with a double doink, it happened to Chicago against Philadelphia when Philadelphia won the Super Bowl. I mean, just imagine the face of the kicker who just almost brought the game into overtime. And then it double doinks. Just imagine the facial expression. Just, it's just like when you, okay, for example, I almost won 10 grand the other day on DraftKings, okay? Melvin Gordon scores. I'm jumping in the air saying, fuck yeah, I'm going to win 10 grand, yeah. And then 2 minutes later, 10 grand went to 200. You know why? Because I had 2 defenses, the 49ers and the Broncos. And I was a little upset at myself about that. Not going to lie. But that's how I imagine that Greg Lutz feels. But Kirk Cousins had a pretty good game. 25 for 38, 273 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Red Rifle, Andy Dalton came in for J-Mo Winston. 20 for 28, 236 passing yards, 1 touchdown. And then Dalvin Cook, he struggled to get the running game. 20 carries, 76 yards. 76 yards. So no touchdown for Mr. Dalvin Cook. But Justin Jefferson went off. Didn't get a touchdown, but arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. Justin Jefferson. 10 receptions, 147 receiving yards. Chris Olave had 4 receptions, 67 yards, 1 touchdown. Arguably the best rookie wide receiver right now. Latavius Murray, 11 carries, 57 yards, and 1 touchdown. And also, the Saints debuted the black helmets with the white jerseys. Did not like that. Y'all need to stick to the black if y'all need to stick with the black jerseys if you're gonna wear the black helmets on. I mean, it looked disgusting out there. Their uniform set against the Vikings, but I gotta say this game was just back and forth, and very impressive win. This next game, I mean, I don't know how you're the top scoring offense in the NFL, but you always find a way to lose on defense. But it's Detroit. I shouldn't say more about Detroit. But this game went to 48-45, and what a spectacular offensive shootout. A Big 12 shootout. And Geno Smith went off. Like I said earlier, Geno Smith has been balling, people. 23 for 30, 320 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Jared Goff, 26 for 39, 378 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Rashad Penny went the fuck off on the Detroit Lions. 17 carries, 151 yards, 2 tutties. And Jamal Williams, 19 carries, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns for Mr. Williams, former Packer and Detroit Lion. DK Metcalf, 7 receptions, 149 receiving yards, but no touchdown. TJ Hawkinson for the Detroit Lions, the tight end, 8 receptions, 179 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns for that tight end. I mean, this game was just crazy. Like, Detroit would try to come back, and then fucking Seattle was going to extend the lead. Then Detroit came back, and then Seattle extended the lead. Then Detroit came back, and it's just like a repeated cycle. And you're like, Detroit, can y'all please win a fucking game? Y'all are 1-3, but I gotta say, I love Dan Campbell. I'm a fan of him. And I love what he's doing over there in Detroit. He's on to something over there in Detroit. With the competitive spirit that they have, and now they got the highest scoring offense in the NFL. And Seattle. I'm impressed with Seattle. They're 2-2, and they look good. They look good as a 2-2 team, and they are very competitive this year. I wrote them off as a last place team. I thought Drew Lock's going to start for them. They're not going to let Geno start. And look what happened. Geno's starting, and he's balling. He's proving everybody wrong. He's proving me wrong. He's proving Caleb wrong. He's proving everybody wrong right now, and that's what you need out of a experienced quarterback like Geno Smith. Next game, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles at home taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars on a rainy day. I mean, Jacksonville started off strong in the first quarter. Second quarter, Eagles took over in this game. And the final score was 29-21. Trevor Lawrence gave up 5 turnovers, 4 fumbles, and 1 interception. 11 for 23, 174 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Jalen Hurts did not throw a touchdown pass. 16 for 25, 204 passing yards, and 1 pick. Travis Etienne, quiet day, 8 carries, 32 yards. Miles Sanders had a great game. 27 carries, 134 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. Christian Kirk, 2 receptions, 60 yards. A.J. Brown, 5 receptions, 95 yards. So, it wasn't a bad game. It was just like a sloppy game in physical form because it was raining, and I understand the circumstances in that game because they looked bad. But hats off to Philadelphia for overcoming a 14-0 deficit, and then Jacksonville for almost coming in and beating the Eagles. But I gotta say the Eagles look impressive even with adversity. Nick Sirianni is a really good coach, and a lot of people didn't like the guy at first. I mean, I thought he was a doofus talking about dog mentality, but man, he's proven me wrong just like everybody else this year. Like, holy shit. And last game we'll talk about, I'm not going to talk about the Patriots-Packers game. I already basically went over that. But I didn't go over the final score. But I'm going to talk about this travesty of a game that the Ravens let happen. And a huge decision that was poorly made coaching-wise. I understand. You got possibly the best player on the field at that point with Lamar Jackson. I would have taken the points. I would have taken the 3 points. Not go for it and let Lamar throw an interception and cost yourselves the game. You blew a 20-3 lead. Isaiah McKenzie for a 4-yard touchdown pass, and then Tyler Bass with a 39-yard field goal. 20-13. Then Josh Allen with an 11-yard touchdown run. And then Lamar goes forward on 4th down, throws an interception in the end zone, which is a touchback for those that don't know. And Buffalo drives down the field and kicks a 21-yard field goal. I mean, what are you doing, John Harbaugh? I mean, he already threw a pick before that point, you know? I don't understand why you would go for it. But Josh Allen didn't have his best game either. 19 for 36, 213 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Lamar, 20 for 29. He was pretty accurate. 144 passing yards, which is really low in NFL standards. And even in college standards, that's really low. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. But Lamar had 11 carries and 73 yards. And Josh Allen, 11 carries, 70 yards, 1 touchdown. Now, this is crazy to me. Both quarterbacks are the passing leaders and rushing leaders. That's crazy to me. That is crazy. Stephon Diggs with 4 receptions, 62 yards. Devin Duvernay, former Longhorn, 4 receptions, 51 receiving yards. And I got to say, I'm very disappointed with the way John Harbaugh went for it on 4th down. Just trying to be gutsy, and I don't understand why. You don't need to be gutsy. Just kick the fucking field goal and Trust in your defense. That just showed me that you don't trust your defense whatsoever. You know, or you don't trust your kicker. You had the best kicker in the NFL, Justin Tucker. Best kicker in the NFL. And I'm not saying it to be biased. I'm stating it because it's fact, because his accuracy numbers are off the charts. He holds the record for the longest field goal in the NFL, 66 yards. And you blow a 20-3 lead. You are comfortably winning against the Buffalo Bills, arguably one of the best teams in the AFC. And then you say, "Fuck it, let's just go for it." And then you throw in the red zone. In the red zone. You could just run with J.K. Dobbs or run an option if you're going to go for it. But throw? Did you not learn from the Seattle Seahawks? Dumb. Absolutely fucking stupid. But that's enough of my couch potato coaching. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, but anyway. Now we're going to go into week 5 predictions. All right? So we're going to start off with Thursday night. I already know it's already been played, and I already picked a team. I picked the Colts to win. I thought the Colts would, even though they're out with Jonathan Taylor, I thought that the Colts would wake up a little bit and they'd be able to bring in the pass rush on Russell Wilson, because that offensive line from Denver is atrocious. And I thought Indianapolis was a little better. But right now, it's a fucking field goal game. And Coach JB might have just called this game. I don't know who he picked, but he called the score. If you don't know who Coach JB is, he is a guy from Last Chance U. He was a head coach for Independence Community College. He was a guy from Compton. He used to play quarterback for Compton Community College. So that man is smart. He knows what the fuck he's talking about. He may say fuck a lot, like I am right now, but he knows what he's talking about. And everybody doubts him, and then look what happens. He calls it. He calls this shit. And he's calling this game the way it is. And they're playing on Prime Video, which a lot of people have been complaining about Prime Video. And I don't know anything. I don't have Prime Video, so I have nothing to complain about it. So yeah, I got the Colts winning this game. If they win this game, which it looks like I may be 0-1 to start off week 5. But yeah, I didn't have any predictions for week 4, so we're just going to omit that. So now we're going to jump into Sunday. We're going to start off with the London game, where the 3-1 New York Giants, I haven't heard that in a long time. Danny Dimes, Saquon Barkley, who's having a hell of a year thus far. Almost 500 yards rushing. Squares off against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, who are just trying to find their rhythm back on offense. Strong defense, but cannot stop the run. You know, and I might pick the upset on them, and I'm going to. I'm going with the Giants over the Packers. I think the Giants are going to utilize Saquon Barkley in the run. Even without Sterling Shepard, I think Danny Dimes will play a good game. I think he'll play a smarter game than what he has played before. And he he was injured last week, and Tyrod Taylor got hurt. So what happens then? Well, there was talks of Saquon Barkley running the Wildcat for New York. That would be interesting. I would love to see Saquon Barkley play the Wildcat. I think that would be the most dangerous team in the NFC East if they did that. But I'm going with the Giants with the upset. Same score, or not the same score, but same spread as the Vikings and Saints, +3 for the Giants. Then we got our first 12 o'clock game, Eastern time, by the way, not Central time because it's 11. We got the Buffalo Bills, who just came off of a comeback victory, squaring off against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are on a identity crisis trip. And it looks like Kenny Pickett will start for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Will he get a touchdown against that tough defense? Absolutely not. I got the Buffalo Bills dominating in this game. Now, will it be like 36-0? No. I think Buffalo's just gonna take this slow and easy. I think it'll be like a 28-3, 28-9 victory for the Buffalo Bills. Next game, we got the Chargers squaring off against the 2-2 Cleveland Browns with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. Now, this is interesting because both teams are 2-2. They're both evenly matched in some sorts. But I got to say, Cleveland's defense is getting back Myles Garrett. And, I mean, Jacoby Brissett's been playing pretty well for holding Deshaun Watson's spot right now. So I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think this is going to be a close game. But Austin Eckler is going to go off in this game. I think he is going to be on fire, both receiving and rushing, just like he did against the Texans. I got the Chargers over the Brownies. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings, who just came off of a huge victory over the New Orleans Saints. They're taking on the Bears, who just lost to the Giants. And I got to say, I don't think this one's going to be close. I think the Vikings are better than what people think. I think the Vikings are going to win this game pretty decently. Next game, we got the New England Patriots hosting the Motor City kneecap biting Detroit Lions. This one's going to be a fun game to watch. Bill Belichick versus Dan Campbell. All right. So, is the Detroit Lions going to be – are the Detroit Lions going to be able to score points against that New England defense? Or will the Patriots end up winning in a blowout? I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think the Patriots will win by 10 against the Detroit Lions. Next game, got the Saints 1-3 taking on Red Hot Geno Smith and the Seahawks in the Superdome. All right. So Geno Smith's been on fire. Rashad Penny had a hell of a game last week. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf look good this season. I'm gonna have to go with Grandpa Jim's team. I'm gonna have to go with Seattle here. I think Seattle is gonna put it on the New Orleans Saints. I know that this might be a stretch, but I got 10 on the Seahawks. 10-point victory. And next game, we got the Dolphins at the New York Jets. Both teams look impressive to me. But the Jets look to end the 12-game skid against the AFC East. They haven't won an AFC East matchup in over 2 seasons. So this is a must-win for the Jets. Zach Wilson playing the second game back. He looked a little shaky, but he's getting back into rhythm. Breece Hall, he's been impressive as a rookie. Corey Davis and Garrett Wilson, I mean, those guys are terrific. Tua's not going to be able to play this game, so Teddy B is going to have to step in the role for Tua. Tyreek Hill, Cedric Wilson. I mean, this is going to be a fun one. I think this one will be a fun one. Both defenses are good. Both offenses are good. This is bringing back good old memories of when the AFC East everybody was good. Well, this year it's not as good as those years, but this one's a tough one. But I'm going to go with the New York Jets. I think they're going to bring pressure to Teddy Bridgewater, and I think they're going to give him trouble. And Sauce Gardner has really impressed a lot of people. I wouldn't doubt that he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. I got the Jets winning by 7 points. Next game, I got on tap the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are on a 2-game losing streak, squaring off against the Falcons, who have been pretty much on a roll as of late. Mariota, I mean, his touchdown and interception ratio is -1. I mean, 3 touchdowns for 4 interceptions. I got the Bucs winning. Okay, no questions asked. No reason for it. I think the defense for the Bucs is going to step up this game, and I think Tom Brady and the offense is going to finally get something going after these last 2 hiccups against the Chiefs and the Packers. So, next game, got the Tennessee Titans squaring off against the Washington Commanders. And the Commanders are favorites in this game. Tannehill versus Wentz. Henry versus Antonio Gibson. Robert Woods taking on Scary Terry McLaurin. What I saw last week with the Commanders against the Cowboys, they're not a bad football team. It's just bad play calling and Carson Wentz offensively. Defensively, they got gassed, okay, because they were out on the field for a while. For Tennessee, they're kind of like one of those weird teams that you don't know what side you're going to see. But Derrick Henry had a hell of a game last week, and I think the Titans are going to win this game. I think the Titans are going to put up 13 or 14 points against the Washington Commanders. Tighten up. Next game, got an AFC South matchup. The Houston Texans, winless and has 1 tie, 0-3-1. Squaring off against the impressive Jacksonville Jaguars, who could have beat the Eagles but lost because they had turnovers. They're playing in Duval County. Duval! And I think the Jaguars are going to put it on the Texans. I mean, Derek Stingley Jr. is a good corner. But I think the talent between the Jaguars and the Texans is too much on the Texans. Texans are going to compete, but I think the Jaguars are going to win by 10 points. Sorry, guys, our Texans fans. Now we're getting into the 3 o'clock games. The 49ers, Panthers, Eagles, Cardinals, Cowboys, Rams. And we're going to start off with the earliest one, the 49ers against the Panthers. Now, this game is kind of lackluster, but Jimmy G is back with the 49ers. He has been a lightning bolt for this team. And but they're without Trent Williams, who is a 99 overall on Madden, and they're going to miss him in this game. But Baker Mayfield has struggled this season. Almost have the same touchdowns as he has interceptions, but he has 1 touchdown over the interception department. But, I mean, the Panthers look sloppy, man. It's not just Baker Mayfield. It's everybody. Christian McCaffrey looks sloppy. Robbie Anderson looks sloppy. DJ Moore. I mean, the defense looks sloppy. I mean, the one win that they had was against the Saints, and they did pretty good against the Saints, but still not impressive. I'm going to have to go with the 49ers. I think that Jimmy G's is going to have a good game. Deebo Samuel's going to just run through everybody, and, man, they look good against the Rams. So I can't pick against the 49ers. Next game before I talk about my Cowboys. The Philadelphia Eagles, the unbeatens, are still left standing. Square off against the Arizona Cardinals in Glendale, Arizona. Now, this is going to be a fun game to watch. Former Oklahoma players, well, for Jalen Hurts, a transfer to Oklahoma. Alabama transferred to Oklahoma. Kyler Murray, Texas A&M transfer to Oklahoma. This is going to be a fun matchup if you're a fan of quarterbacks running around. But Jalen Hurts, to me, looks more of a complete quarterback than Kyler Murray does. And I got to say, I think the Philadelphia defense is better. I'm picking the Eagles to win. I think the Eagles are going to put on a show against the Cardinals. I'm going to say 17 points on top of the Arizona Cardinals. Last game before Sunday Night Football, we got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to the Los Angeles Rams, where Cooper Rush has been playing good football. And Matthew Stafford and company, they're kind of struggling right now. Matthew Stafford with 4 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Cooper Rush has yet to throw an interception that actually counted. He did throw 2 interceptions, but they got called back in that Commanders game. Ezekiel Elliott had a last couple games, he's been really chugging it along. So are we seeing a revival with Ezekiel Elliott? Is Tony Pollard going to get more touches? CeeDee Lamb has been looking alive since that second half against the Giants. The Rams, though, they look like they've been struggling offensively. I know they're 2-2. I know they are the reigning and defending champs, but without Von Miller, without OBJ, I don't have any confidence in this team. And San Fran pretty much proved it last week against the Rams, or against the 49ers, against the Rams. I got the Cowboys. I'm going to pick my Cowboys. I got confidence that they will put on a show. It will be a tightly contested battle, low-scoring affair. But Cooper Rush is going to do it again, baby. For a final score, I'm going to say 23-21. Dallas. Now, 2 more games before we have to sign off here. Got the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Baltimore. Cincinnati on a 2-game win streak. Baltimore on and off, on and off. Baltimore last year had struggled against Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. But this season, it looks like Joe Burrow and company are slowly picking up after struggling the last 2 games against the Steelers and the who did they play week 2? I'm supposed to be an analyst, and I suck, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, they struggled against my Cowboys, and I didn't even know that. Yeah. You know, they struggled against the Cowboys, okay? And then they started to pick up after the Jets, then the Dolphins, and now they play against a Baltimore team that has been on and off, on and off. Will this be a good game, or will it be a Bengals blowout? Well, they're going to rely on Lamar Jackson a lot. I don't think the Ravens are going to win this game. I think the Bengals are going to come in and really torch that defense. I mean, that Baltimore Ravens defense, I never thought I would ever say this about Baltimore's defensive defense, really. But Baltimore is atrocious defensively. And I think Joe Burrow is going to look like Joe Burrow of last year. Jamar Chase is going to come out and score a couple points. Might not get to 100. Will probably get to 100. We'll see. But I got the Bengals winning about 10 points. Then we got Monday night, where the Las Vegas Raiders finally got their first win against the Broncos last week, 32-23, where they take on the Kansas City Chiefs, who shocked the world and beat, not really shocked the world, but they avenged their loss in Tampa in the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And beat the hell out of them, but they won 41-31. I got to say, the way that Kansas City has been playing, besides that Indianapolis game, it's hard for me to say Kansas City's it's hard for me to not pick Kansas City in this game, especially with the way the Raiders have been playing lately. Despite that win against the Broncos, I mean, the Broncos really don't have an offense this year, unfortunately, because Russell Wilson is with the Broncos and Jerry Jeudy. I thought they were going to go off, but, I mean, what are you going to do, you know? But I got Kansas City big in this game. I got them winning by 20. And that, my friends, concludes the NFL Week 3, Week 4 recap and Week 5 predictions. Tune in next week when me and Caleb talk about Week 5 recap and Week 6 predictions. Hopefully Caleb gets to come back on. He recently had a promotion at his job. Congratulations to him. And he's really been working hard at his job, and I hope we get him back on here as soon as possible. But in a couple weeks, I'll be back up there in the 254, and I'll be kicking in with him again, and we'll have another podcast talking about NFL. But I will be doing a podcast early on talking about college football before I even head up there. so that way we don't even have to worry about it. And I'm glad I was able to catch up with the NFL side. Now we're back on track. Now we're back into business with the PMP. I know it kind of seemed like I was rushing this, and I kind of was. That's why I kind of condensed the recap a bit and threw in some news that everybody knows about. But, I mean, I wanted to make this video quick because I wanted to put something out there. Not lazily, but kind of quick, but at the same time, not too quick. So I wanted to make it to where everybody can enjoy it, but at the same time, you can just watch bits and pieces of it. So we are the PMP, the cream of the crop of all football podcasting. We are the Pigskin Mafia podcast. We are the PMP. Thank you for watching, for those that have been watching. And thank you in the future for those that watch this. See you next time. Thank you, folks. Have a good night. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. Doing something different and I had to switch it up. Turned up in my section, every night we live it up. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. My chopper hit, my chopper hit, my 40 hit, my 40 hit. I don't care if you like how step, I don't care if you like how rip, I don't care if you like how step, I don't care if you like how rip. I got sauce, I got flavor, getting all this paper. I got sauce, I got flavor, getting all this paper. Plain Jane Patty, come on, motherfucking wrist. They notice every time when I walk up in this bitch. Also walk up in this bitch, keep my clock up in this bitch. Also walk up in this bitch, keep my clock up in this bitch. My chopper hit, my chopper hit, my 40 hit, my 40 hit. I don't care if you like how step, I don't care if you like how rip, I don't care if you like how step, I don't care if you like how rip. Doing something different and I had to switch it up. Turned up in my section, every night we live it up. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. Doing something different and I had to switch it up. Turned up in my section, every night we live it up. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. This shit is exciting. Do it with the right team. My style they biting. I'm striking like lightning. I'm bagging these bitch. I'm talking my shit. I'm bagging these bitch. I'm talking my shit. I'm about to get on your ass. I'ma just count me some cash. I'm about to get on your ass. I'ma just count me some cash. Doing something different. Just switch it up. Turns up in my section, every night we live it up. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck.